Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sounds of 505. My name's Nick. Welcome to the channel if you are new, or welcome back if you're a lovely viewer. Today is going to be our third episode in the AC/DC series with me and Tyler.
Yay!
Tyler, you have anything you want to say about the album? Any background information? Anything?
Oh my goodness, this album is awesome. Here's the album cover. This is the international album cover. The first time we used the iconic logo for AC/DC.
And it's very cool.
Very cool. It's got a great cover. Here's the back cover. Here's Angus. Yo. So a little background. So this is the third album recorded in Australia and recorded by Harry Van and produced by Harry Van and George Young. It is the third and final album with bassist Mark Evans, who joined back in High Voltage. This was released in March 1977. They would end up going on their Australian and European tour. And then by May, when they finished their European tour, I guess it was time for them to go separate ways. They end up firing Mark Evans, citing musical differences, and I guess he was clashing with Angus, so they had him fired. And then they ended up hiring, shortly after, hiring Cliff Williams, which is the current bass player, to replace him. And then before they went on their first North American tour, they ended up recording a music video for Let There Be Rock featuring Cliff Williams. And so, yeah, then they would go on their first North American tour throughout the U.S. and all sorts of that. And I do have one of their more well-known concerts live at the Old Waldorf in San Francisco on September 3rd. And here's a picture of them here. We have Malcolm here, Bon, Angus, our new bass player Cliff Williams, and of course Phil Rudd. And what's cool about this is it's not an official AC/DC release. It's kind of like someone put together a live. Well, it actually is. If you look, it is, but it's not like a live album or anything. I don't know.
Okay.
Sometimes bands will do that where you'll have a live concert they'll put out there. Cool. So it has two tracks from the next album before it came out. 6 months before it came out, they did two tracks from Power Rage album. So, and these are the only known live recordings of these two songs with Bon Scott. So that was their first. It was a big major thing for them because they had never been to America, and that was the first time in America. And this album also has a bunch of awesome live songs they always do live at concerts.
Yeah, I'd say 3 big live songs on there, right?
Yeah. And this has got a lot of energy. They took all their frustrations with Atlantic from their previous album and put it into this album and made a pretty good batch of songs. I'm excited to talk about them.
My thoughts on the album. This album is freaking awesome. It's one of those albums that was a complete blind spot for me. This is the first time I've ever heard it was me, Tyler, and Scott were listening to it on after our Dirty Deeds live stream, and let's just say I really liked it. Before we get into the review, Meyer commented, really, really great album. Possibly my favorite of the Bon Scott era.
Nice.
Well, you'll find out my thoughts on that when we review the album. First song on the album, we get straight into Go Down.
Yeah, so pretty strong opening track, in my opinion. Go Down. Obviously, if you know what the lyrics are, you know what the song is about. Mm-hmm. It's kind of liken it to a Whole Lot of Love from Led Zeppelin. Most because of the stuff. It's like a little moaning bit after the solo, and they kind of do that with Whole Lot of Love. But this is a pretty strong opening track, one of the deep cuts on this album. I really like this song. It's pretty cool.
This song is epic. Definitely a good analogy. The Whole Lot of Love thing. It's a really, really good song to open up the album. It's such a epic song. Um, it didn't make my top five, but this is a really really great way to open up the album.
Yeah,
Get right into it. Um, Next song on the album, "Dog Eat Dog."
I love this song. The song's so cool. Uh, it's just a great, lots of really good lyrics about people trying to do what they want and not trusting. Uh, it's like don't write your name in dust. It's like speaking out against like the crooks in the music business, and it's just a really great song. Really good guitar. Everything is really tight on this album. Of course, Bon Scott's lyrics are great.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a great song on the album. It's made my top five. Really, really cool song. This is definitely a song that definitely stood out to me when I listened to the album the first time, and it was really good the second time I listened to it on my own. Um, Other really good song. Another really solid rocker.
Yes.
Next song on the album, we got the epic title track.
So here's my record with this. Yes, Let There Be Rock, the title track. This is an epic song. This is one of my favorite ACDC songs. Probably possibly my favorite up to this point. My favorite ACDC song ever by them up to this point. Of course, the big title track. Um, oh man, it's a crazy song. Always played live, and then after the song ends, Angus always has sort of like extended guitar solo bit that he does. It's really fun, and man, the song is awesome. It's like 6.5, it's about 6 minutes long. Yeah, 6 minutes and 12 seconds. It is just an epic, awesome rocker song. It's good stuff.
Yeah, Angus Young is like he's like the mascot of the band.
Yep.
So he's just like he has that like usually when we all think of ACDC, we all think of Angus Young. You
Yes.
know, most of the time when you think of a rock band, you think about their lead vocalist. But like this is like the band where like their guitarist just like has such an iconic look that like you can't help but like just happen to think about him for the most part because of the unusual look that he had. But I think this is a really good song. Um, Nice little epic on the album. It's the one song I knew off this album because I used to listen to their Bon Scott's Grace hits a lot. It's just one of them, and yeah, it's a really good song. Um, Last song on side one is "Bad Boy Boogie."
This is really fun to end the album with. Um, it's amazing what they can do with just one riff and carry that whole song with the one riff. And it's one or two riffs. It's really cool. I think Malcolm and Angus do a lot with. They have one like basic riff they do, and then they just make a song around it. It's awesome. And it's just like they're so good at making riffs. They might not be as intricate or as innovative as guitars like Van Halen or whatever, but they are really good at making riffs, and they
Oh yeah,
make some of the iconic riffs in music.
I agree.
It's one
They're
of my
really good at making
favorite
riffs. Even in my even in well, as of now, I'm not the biggest fan of the stuff after Bon Scott passed away and they continue after him. But I always say that the guitar riffs were always really good. Their guitar riffs are so like once you hear it, you'll remember forever. Uh,
yes,
yeah, it's another great song. This made my top five. Such a great song.
it's
Um,
so amazing. It's great stuff.
Side two. At this point, you flip the record over. Got to say that iconic line. We get to a song that we already reviewed. It's "Problem Child."
Yes, so uh, the Australian album opens the next song opens the side two with a song we'll talk about next called
Mhm.
Overdose. Uh, but Problem Child was added, I think, because uh, American audiences hadn't heard this song because Dirty Deeds was not released in America not until '81. So I think that was done purely for American audiences. Still kind of awkward for Europeans though, and everyone else is like, "Hey, we already had this song. What's going on with this?" But I think it's still a pretty good song. Uh, I do wish they put Jailbreak on there instead of Problem Child. That's just my opinion. Since they're talking about dirty deeds, but I think Problem Child's still a pretty good song. It's basically the same song from Dirty Deeds, just minus the little reprise code at the end. It just kind of fades out, and that's it.
I had my opinions on the song already on the last video, so if you want to hear my more in-depth thoughts on that, go to episode 2. I think it's a good song. It made my top 5 on the last video. It did not make it on my top 5 in this video. It's great. It's one of my favorites on this album, but I don't want to redo putting this song again on the same album. It's didn't make my top 5 because it's a repeat track. After briefly going over that, next song, Overdose.
Oh, I love Overdose. Well, these first 5 songs have just kind of grabbed us and not let us go. And then Overdose is the first song where we get to kind of breathe a little bit. It's a slower song, but it still brings the same amount of power as the other 5. This is a really good deep cut on this album. Of course, with a song like Overdose, you might think, oh, this is about drugs. But it's actually about being completely infatuated with someone. So I think Bon Scott wrote this. Bon Scott wrote this since he had a girlfriend at the time who was a drug dealer. So it's kind of funny that he wrote that like that, wrote the song with that title.
Interesting. It's an amazing song. Now that I'm thinking about it, I kind of last second I added it to my top 5. Just remembering how epic it is. This is definitely one of their most epic songs on the album. Definitely a really underrated song. I like this much better as the side opener than as a follow-up track. But very, very minor nitpick. But yeah, this is an amazing song. Now we reach the last 2 songs, which both of them are huge live concert.
Oh yes, live state always played in concerts.
They play these songs constantly when they go live. You could thank Tyler for that information, for giving it to me. The first of which is "Hell Ain't a Bad Place to Be."
Yes, this is another great song about being in a pretty bad relationship, but you just don't leave or something like that. Yeah, this is another really good song, another iconic riff. Again, the Young Brothers make amazing riffs for these songs, and it just, once you hear the riffs, like, oh, I know exactly what song this is, just hearing that first riff. But yeah, this is a pretty fun, pretty good song. Again, Bon Scott's vocals and his lyrics are really good in this song, along with all the guitar play.
Cool. I think this is a really good song on the album. This made my top 5. It's an epic song. I don't have a whole lot more to say. It's just a really epic track. I could definitely see why this is a live staple for them. This is, if I was going to an AC/DC concert and they play this, I'd be pumped up.
Yeah.
Song. Now I get to their last song and the second live staple that they play a lot, and that is "Whole Lotta Rosie."
Yes, "Whole Lotta Rosie." It's a great epic ending track. A lot of these songs are really epic, and it's just a killer album here. And it's a great album closer. I think "Whole Lotta Rosie" is one of their best songs. Again, this is another really iconic riff. Bon Scott wrote this about a big fat woman he had a one-night stand with on the tour on the road, so that's what it's about. A little fun thing they do when they play this live is when they play that first riff, there's like a pause when the intro of the song happens. He plays the riff, and then there's a pause, and in that pause, the audience always yells "Angus," and then it continues again, and there's another pause, "Angus," and then do that until the song opens up. So it's pretty fun little audience interaction there. And every time they play this song live, they have a big inflatable of the character of this song, Rosie. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, it's a really funny song on the album. I had to put this in my top five for that reason. It's a very amusing song. It's I could definitely see why this is a live staple too because of how ridiculous it is. This and Big Balls are like their two like most
Yeah.
ridiculous songs they've made so far. But I love it though. They do a really good job at making stupid songs like these. I definitely would like for them to do that more. But yeah, this is a great way to close out the album though. What will your top five be?
Okay, man, what an awesome album this is. Uh, my top five. Oh, I have it written down here. Let me look at this. My top five. Number five is going to be Dog Eat Dog. Number four is going to be Hell Ain't a Bad Place to Be. I put Overdose at number three. A Whole Lot of Rosie at number two, and the title track at number one. So for my top five, it's for my number one songs. It's been 3 for 3 for the title tracks. Just kind of happened.
You're probably thinking like, hey, they're like picking their best songs for the title tracks. Yeah, the last two albums I didn't use the title track as my favorite. Who knows? Maybe it might be three for that as well. Number five, Whole Lot of Rosie. We share the top five, by the way. Not like in order, but we share the same songs on the top
Yeah.
five.
Whole Lot of Rosie, number five.
Number four, Doggy Dog.
Nice.
Number three, Hell Ain't a Bad Place to Be. Number two, Overdose. And, well, good news. My favorite song on the album is Let There Be Rock.
Nice.
I underplayed my review on that song because I think this song is freaking rocking. This is amazing.
Yes.
This is the only song I knew coming into this album, and for a good reason. This song is epic. This is definitely the best track on the album. Not that the other songs aren't as good. Those tracks are awesome, but this just takes it over the edge for me.
It takes the cake.
Yes. What score will you be giving this album?
Let's see here. I think I'm gonna give this album a 10.
10 out of 10?
Yeah. Even with the whole problem style business, but I would still probably give this a 10 just for the rest of the tracks.
Well, I'm also giving it a 10 out of 10. This
Nice.
album is freaking awesome. There's nothing wrong with the sound at all. It's all killer, no filler.
Exactly.
Even though Problem Child, I think Jailbreak should have been placed on the album, but Problem Child is still a really good song. I can't take it away from it. Right now, I'm posting down on the group chat my score, and yep. This is just an album that definitely needs to be listened to if you want to get into AC/DC.
Oh yes, it's an essential album.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Let There Be Rock.
Yes. You have anything else you want to say before we close out?
About this album, not particularly. Covered pretty much what I wanted to say about this album. Again, the next album I think is even better. It's kind of like the more underrated album. But yeah, I don't really have anything more to say about this album.
Well, my thoughts. We're getting to an album that I heard way long ago for only one time, so I'm interested to hearing your thoughts on it. I'm excited to see what my thoughts are going to be after a while of not hearing it for a very long time. Yeah, I don't think there's any like real big hits on it. I don't think I recognize any of the songs on this album just by looking at the titles. So this is gonna be an interesting ride going through that. I know the very last Bon Scott album is Highway to Hell, which
very iconic.
Iconic album cover. You couldn't get any more iconic with that album.
That's when they start getting really famous and really known. Just that
Yes.
Highway to Hell album.
It's sad too because Bon Scott passed away after that album. I'm like, just as they're getting really good.
I know.
Popularity, and like then he passes away. I'm like, oh man, that sucks. That really sucks.
It does.
But thank you guys for watching this video. Well, thank you, Briar. I'm pretty sure you're the only one who watched this video.
Briar.
Thank you, Briar, for watching this. I'll see you in about a half hour, Briar, for the regular show live stream on Adam's channel. And I'll see whoever is watching this video in the replay. I'll see you guys in the next video. So on.